Good night, everyone, and welcome back to the Nocturnal Corner with Bat. And today is going to be a rather exciting update because this is something I've personally been waiting for, and that is the return of the helicopters. So there is going to be a few things to this update, and I'm going to go through everything I can find and let you know everything that's been basically added. So let's get into it and see my favorite. Well, honestly, I love the helicopter event. I enjoyed flying around with this thing, and just it felt different, and it really, if you didn't use it with the cyclones, you were missing out. This thing was just a beast with cyclones, and I can't wait to see if it holds up. So, if you look down here, starting off, is they added a new slot. Sadly, they didn't give us any blueprint storage. They didn't give us any, regular storage. So, that's something you want to kind of take into consideration here when you're building these things. However, all the little pieces you see here, they did give us for free. So, we're getting 4 cords, the 2 little coolers there, another sprinter, and so on. And we're also getting the movement part there, the propeller right off the bat, which is the rare seagull. And you can see this one is going to be a more basic design propeller, where it's going to have the 2 blades. However, this one's going to have the 2 blades on, that one propeller. So it's going to have the 2 propellers with 2 blades each. And you'll see it looks like they kind of go up in the blades, the better rarity there are. I haven't actually taken a good look at it. And one of the interesting things about these movement parts, if you didn't know, is you don't actually have to hook up these things to your frames. You can actually put it on any part of your vehicle. So you can get kind of creative with it and how you want to design your helicopters. But this is what you're going to come back to your garage and find. And do keep in mind that these pieces that they gave us for free, which are common, so of course you're gonna give us common shit. You might come back and your storage might be full, because I came back and my storage was full, because all this shit counts for storage. So food for thought. Now, an interesting about the Seagull is it's going to be the only non-Battle Pass craftable propeller in the game. And you can find the rotor in the engineer factions under rare all the way at the bottom, where it doesn't take too much to make these. Just 400 scrap, 400 copper, and 2 medium wheel steerings. So not too bad, not too shabby. Let's see what this thing can do. Let's see, perimeters. So looking at it, it has a tonnage of 1500, cabin power drain 15%, and I think all of them have this ability where it has the lets damage through. So basically it's the only movement part in the game, and one of the rare pieces where you can actually shoot through them, which makes sense. If it's just spinning in a big target, you don't really want this thing just getting taken off. And let's see, its durability is 176 and its mass is 270. So this is definitely going to be for your lighter builds, I believe. But starting off, this is a good starter. It seems like all the propellers, they do kind of feel different a little bit in movement, but basically the movement is it's more speed oriented, so how fast you can go right back up and go to side and whatnot. I think the Hummingbird is the fastest one of going up, while all the other ones are almost like 3 seconds before you take off. So that's just something to keep in mind. But however, if you're going to use the Hummingbird, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, is you can't just have one of those propellers. You got to have at least 2 or more. Otherwise, your build is just going to go doing barrel rolls all by itself until it hits the ground. And if you do turn off your rotor while you're in the air, you don't have to worry. These things are like hot air balloons or something that they got going in there, to where they just fall ever so gracefully like Buzz Lightyear's until they hit the ground, dealing absolutely no damage to yourself. Now that we got that, as I said, engineer faction with this brand new blueprint slot. And of course we got right over here the Sky Raiders Battle Pass. So let's go looking through all the tiers, shall we? So starting off, we get the blueprint here, and we also get the portrait of Winged Steve-O, to where if you want you can read all this, or you can just come in game and read all that. But he's just some dude. I haven't even read this. He's like the main I don't know, antagonist, protagonist. And you see him just basically driving around until he finds a vehicle in the little animation that they added for this. and I think he's oriented with the giant aircraft carriers that you see outside of all your maps, because you can literally just go up to him. Alright, come on. Alright, it's right over here. These big ass things right there. Where it's, yeah, I guess if you ever wanted to roleplay the Marvel, what is it, shield flying carrier thingy, here it is for you with some massive propellers on all the sides. And, you know, he'll come over and talk to you. He'll have his little pieces like everyone else. And just like the other passes, you can just beep your horn and you'll get no reward for it or anything. He'll just, like, say his piece and that's about it. Sadly, you can't, like, really tack him or anything here. It doesn't do nothing. However, in some of the maps, the new maps for the helicopters, you will find that these aircraft carriers will apparently shoot at you in some of them, and the only way to really stop that is you gotta shoot the guns off. And from what the developer said, you can actually shoot them out of the air, which I wonder if it'll actually change the terrain, kind of like the, I think it's Battlefield 3 on that island map. It's been a while, so I don't remember what it's called, when the big flaming ship comes in and now it's like a whole new point and all that. Like, I wonder if that's gonna, like, play an event in there. Not an event, but like a part on the map to where it's just gonna kind of change the terrain a little bit for ground vehicles. So, going from there, let's take a look at the Sky Raiders pass again. So there we go, we got Winged Stevo, and we got the little blueprint here. This is just a blueprint. Don't get too excited. I thought it was going to be kind of like the Twisted Metal event, to where they literally give you the car and all the parts and everything for it. However, that's not the case. This is just going to be something that you're going to find in either the DLC pack, which I think, I'm going to take a guess and say that's going to be in the DLC pack section, or in the faction section for another vehicle that you can build. Number 2 is just going to be the little logo piece off to the side telling you your rank in the battle pass. Up next is a sticker, Flying Ace, which is basically stickers saying that you've killed a bunch of people and you're marking your targets. Up next is we're going to have the 2 blueprints. We're going to have the standard, which players can get for free if they want to build the next rotor up. This is going to be the Falco. This is going to be the Falco right here, where you can see, compared to the Seagull, I should say, this one has 3 blades on each propeller instead of just 2, and slightly different in the middle here with the engine. So, and of course this one is going to be the upgraded version that you can craft in the crafting section of the battle pass. Alright, number 6 is going to be coins. Then we got resources, helicopter structural parts. I keep hitting that button because I'm thinking that it's going to go to the side. Then we got this kind of cool looking background here, where it's going to be the internals of a helicopter. I'm guessing this is going to be the hippogriff, the insides of it. I might be able to actually... No, I can't check that. If I had the hippogriff, there is a way that you can kind of sneak inside of the cabins, so that way you can see the interior. But as I don't have a hippogriff, I don't think I can do that in this episode. Next up is kind of a lame reward to me. This is just kind of bullshit, like repair kits. Ugh. Like, yeah, I would rather have coins or something than that. Then we're getting the new item, bearings. So this is basically going to be the lighters of the ground. And I think it's going to be a similar case to where if you buy the standard pass and you get all the way up, you're going to get like, what, 1350 or something like that, just so you can have just enough to make 2 legendaries, which I'm sure, since we're only getting, unlike other battle passes previously, we're only getting 1 of each legendary, when you can obviously have a set of 2, which I'll be getting into that as well. So next up is another reserve, so resources, 100 coins. We're getting a sticker of Stevo here, more helicopter structural parts, the fuselage. We're getting a sky camouflage, so I'm guessing this is going to be kind of, it looks more like a ship camouflage to me, to be honest, but I'm guessing the whole idea of this is you're going to put it on the bottom of your helicopter, and it's going to be that kind of camo to make it more blend in with the sky. Alright, next up is we're getting the epic petrol. Did we not get a Falco? Or okay, so from what I'm told you don't get a Falco. from this, or at least that's what I watched. I might go and buy this pack just to see if it'll give me these pieces, and if it does, I will let you know, and I'll take back that. But that's just what I heard, is somebody said if you buy that, it's just a blueprint, not that. But I will go and see. Because you would think that you would always get the new items, and I didn't see a Falco, and it's just jumping right to the petrol. So the petrol here, it kind of looks like the Falco as well. I'm going to take a guess and say that the engine in the middle is slightly different, but you can tell the blades here are definitely different. They look a bit more like wider and more reinforced. So that's like one different with the petrol here, of course. And before we go to that, let's see, this is going to be the stats of this one. 400 power score. This one's going to have almost double the tonnage of the Seagull at that 2,800. Cabin power is the same at minus 50. Features are the same as the Seagull with that 50% pass through, and then the durability and the mass are increased. The durability is going to be 254 and the mass is going to be 390. So let's go back to the petrol. And then the petrol, okay, so it seems like they're all going to be the same. I wonder if the Hummingbird is going to be any different, but it seems like they all have the feature of 50% pass through to make it so they're not just getting shot off right away. Especially since it's probably going to be one of the most, like, the bigger movement parts. And while it's spinning, I wonder if that's just going to be like one big hitbox right above you. But this one's definitely going to have the biggest tonnage at 5,000 kgs. I think they said this is going to be the one that also carries the most. So this is going to be your big boy propeller. Cabin power is the same, minus 15. Durability is not that. There. That's the upgraded one. So the regular durability is 405 points, and the mass is 540 points. So there you go. After that one, it looks like you're only getting one of these, and then you get more resources, and then you get the new garage. And I don't think I can show off the garage just yet, but basically this is going to be the first garage where it's going to be roofless. It's like you're in the back of a trailer of a massive truck, and it's going to be the Nomad's Camp, so you're going to see like the Leviathans of the Nomads. It's a desert area. You're going to have the aircraft carriers up in the sky with this one. It's going to have like these blimps and everything. And it's going to be like a small airport where you're going to have all three of your blueprints in, so you can just fly around. The reason that they made it so you can't build in this one is so that way you can instantly get to flying straight up instead of having a bit of a delay. And if I can unlock that one, I will show that off as well. Next up, we've got the tail boom base, another structural part. We got the upgraded blueprint unlock. We're getting a shaved wolf sticker. And it looks like a wolf that is cowering and running away as somebody went and shaved his ass. Next up is the thundercloud. So the thundercloud, basically, I thought it was going to be something bigger. I thought it was going to be like a giant cloud that was going to be like underneath your vehicle to make you look like a cloud soaring through the air. It's actually kind of like a small cartoonish looking cloud that just kind of floats wherever you have it, and it'll actually just like shoot lightning underneath it. So I mean, it's kind of cool, but I think they could have done something a little bit better. Alright, next up is going to be our next free item. Of course, you know, everything that says free is going to be ones that are not part of the pass. And this is going to be the blueprint for the regular petrol rotor. Next up is Fiery Sky. This one's kind of cool. It kind of looks like a painting, like they just kind of took, you know, like streaks of oranges and yellows and with the black canvas and kind of spread it to kind of give it like this fiery look. Let's see the parameters. You can kind of see it right there. So I mean, it's not bad. It looks kind of cool. Alright, next up is the Hummingbird. So this is the one I was wondering if it was going to be any different. Oh, so the Hummingbird is actually going to be less when it comes to the pass-through. This one's only going to be 30%. So this one's going to be a slightly easier to hit target because of that. So that's something to keep in mind. And I did notice that it says max speed of this one is 90. So is this one? It looks like the regular propellers do not have a max speed, so they'll be able to go with whatever cabin you're using, while the Hummingbird is going to have a max of 90. This one's going to have a tonnage of 1,200. Since you're going to have two of them, that's better to look at it as 2,400, so that way you can fly. The cabin power is the least on this one at -4, so that's not bad. And this one actually has a decent durability to mass ratio, where the durability is more than the mass. So 380 points versus 330 kgs. While active, increases the durability of all other Hummingbird rotors on the armored aircraft by 5%. Maximum bonus is 25%. So, I don't think I read the other descriptions. I didn't even think about that. I thought it was just something else. Let's see. It doesn't look like the Falco or the Seagull have special abilities. It looks like it's just going to be the two epics. So going back to the petrol, decreases the distance required for bonus activation up to 50%. This bonus doesn't depend on the amount of petrol. So something similar to the Bigfoot wheels, or maybe the Omni wheels, where it's going to decrease if you use other type of wheels or rotors in this case. Decreases the distance required for bonus activation. So I'm guessing this is for items that you have to go a certain distance. So maybe if you put a cheetah on here and you're just soaring through the air, you can keep turning invisible or whatever. It kind of makes me wonder about something though. But I'll get to that in another time. Alright, so this one, the two abilities are, that one's going to be kind of similar to the Bigfoot, but for your air, while this one is going to be giving you durability, which is good. It's not bad. I see that it is 380. I am forgetting that is a upgraded piece, so let me look at the regular armor. It's still higher than the mass, so this is going to be 345. So with the upgraded one, you are going up to 380. So that's not bad. Is that actually more than the petrol? Nope, the petrol is actually more, and I know this is the upgraded one, but obviously, if you go here, yeah, the petrol is a bit higher by almost, almost 50, almost around 50 points. But if you start having a bunch of Hummingbirds on there, you're probably going to have a rather tough little flying quadcopter, or if you want to have 5 or whatever, be a little Amazon drone with 8. Next up is going to be 40 bearings, and then we're getting more into our structural parts, and I believe this is a decor item. It looks like a baby's bottle, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a light that got messed up right there. Yeah. It's a little helicopter side light. It looks like a baby's bottle here. Then we got the structural parts here, the fairings, right and left. Alright, this is basically just so you can have like a smooth helicopter, make it look aerodynamic, make it look fancy. Next up is coins, having more military reserves. Getting our next sticker, the Extinguished Phoenix. So I thought it was a chicken at first, but since I see it now, it's basically a phoenix that got wet and he's not on fire. Which I wonder if he can turn to ash after that. Alright, so, and then going to 33, we are getting another set of Hummingbirds. So if you didn't know, you are actually getting 4 Hummingbirds in this pass. And you know, when I first saw this, right here, it just really made me think of the model of the, what is it called? The hovers. You can kind of see it. And looking at the paint job, the white, the yellow, this is probably a Dawn's Children part, isn't it? Doesn't say, but I'm more than certain this is probably the Dawn's Children's rotor. Alright, next up is more military reserves, more bearings, the blueprint for the upgraded Hummingbird. We're getting another background. This one looks like it's going to be the back of Steve-O, to where he's kind of having that flying raven look. So it kind of looks like the ravens that finally decided to go airborne. Yep, that is like the raven skull, isn't it? Next up is going to be the fuselage slope. Yep, just more things to make your helicopter look nice. 125 coins. You're getting that storm cloud, so basically the animated storm cloud, but this time as a paint. Kind of looks nice. I'm kind of looking at this big piece here. This is not a bad paint to me. I think it does kind of look better than the fiery sky, having that darkish blue and then that really like nice looking cloud-like blue on top, where it's like a lighter blue. Like I think it looks nice. I think this is a good paint. All right, we're getting the blueprint for the regular Hummingbird, and now we're starting to get to the legendaries. So starting off, we got the B12 Dove. So I'm gonna look at the non-upgraded version real quick. I jumped off it way too quick. So let's see. Fires volleys of 4 bombs. So it's a bomb launcher. I guess it's both. It's a bomb launcher and a mine layer. It's... yeah. It's kind of like the bombs that you would see in War Thunder when you play tank mode and you drop them and they have like a time fuse. This one, I believe, goes off in 10 seconds. I see it down there. So you're just going to be firing a volley of 4 bombs with limited jet acceleration. So these things, they don't go far. They have very bad bullet drop, as in as soon as you fire it, they're going to go straight down. There is one thing you want to take in note. So this is kind of like a bomb, like a bomb dropper than a bomb launcher in a way. It's kind of like if you want to tilt it and have it face down, maybe you can make like a bomber. You know what I'm saying? Just like a B-17 coming in, and it's like bum 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 bum, just carpet bomb the whole fucking field, dude. That sounds badass. Yo, fusion build, make a bomber. That. Just have your boys all running doves and they're just bombing this shit out of the whole field. You know, rolling thunder, Call of Duty style, right through that bitch. That would be... I want to see that. That sounds awesome. When you hold down the firing key, the scope will only appear if the weapon is 10 meters above the surface. The scope. So I haven't seen anybody talk about the scope. That kind of like, I'm wondering if that's like a bomb bay scope, like, you know, when you're opening the bomb bay doors and you're looking through to bomb your target. Because there is a aiming reticle to where it'll be like a big circle, and it'll show like, you know, a big green circle on the bottom that'll indicate to you where your bombs are going to be dropping at. But I don't believe... Oh, okay, so it's 10 above the surface. Okay, so this must be the aiming reticle. So that saying right there, I want you to know, because I was going to mention this, is when you put it on regular vehicles, so say like spiders, cars, whatever, it's not going to have that reticle. Maybe if you make a really tall boy and you put them right at the top, maybe you'll get the reticle if you're above that 10 But if you're just driving regular cars, you're probably not going to have that reticle because it's going to be below that 10 But since it is a mine layer, you could possibly try to use this thing as a king mine. But you got to keep in, like, you got to kind of think about it though, is these only go off in 10 seconds. While the king goes off after 60 seconds. So these things are going to explode way quicker, and these are kind of a proximity explosive. So explosive damage is where it's going to be at. The fire rate is decent. It's decent-ish. It's kind of a slow reload time. The best one is obviously if you have the Hadron with the reload. It's going to really drop that significantly versus everything else. Effective range... doesn't really have range. It's more of when you're flying around, you can just bombard. Maybe the range is like if you're high up and you drop it, it's going to be kind of like a long shelf life before the projectile disappears type of range. Accuracy, I mean, I would say accuracy is 100% just because it goes straight down. Like, you can't really aim with this thing because as soon as you launch it, it'll go a little bit and then just goes to the ground. So I don't know how you would really judge accuracy on that, but as long as you have the aiming reticle, it seems like it's decently accurate. It'll hit where you're aiming at, unless it's like, you know, it's all in that circle or something. So I'm not sure. When I saw them messing around with it, it seemed like it was accurate with that aiming reticle. You're only getting 12 volleys, so you know that's going to be 4 per. Durability is 418. Energy drain is 7. Sadly, you're only getting 1, as you can see over there, so you would need to make another one. The mass is 1,139. When the bomb hits environment, objects from a weight less than 30 the projectile will be stuck into the ground and detonate after 10 seconds, or when an enemy appears nearby. If the height is greater, the projectile will explode with damage increased by 25%, which will not decrease with distance from the center of the explosion. Okay, so basically you have 2 options, and you're probably not going to get the second option with a regular vehicle. So if you're in a helicopter and you're going above 30 it's going to basically come down and explode on contact with a 25% damage increase. Now if you're below that, or you know, say in like a vehicle and whatnot, these things are going to hit the ground and basically act like a mine layer, to where they're going to be proximity bombs sticking out of the ground that only last 10 seconds. But they do seem to have a decent blast radius on them. They're, you know, they're a bomb. They're not just like mines where it's kind of smaller. And so these things can hit, and they can hit actually pretty hard at that. So let's take a look at the upgraded one real quick. With upgrade, you're getting minus 17 mass. Reloading time is nice. Projectile speed, I feel like that one depends. That one to me depends. Because if they're saying that projectile speed is for when it's falling down, that could be a lot better and will definitely help you hit targets below you when the bombs are going like straight down, so that way you don't have to really target and then try to predict their movement. So that could actually be very beneficial for helicopters. Next up is another logo. Looks like it's just a shot through the glass. We're getting our humanitarian aids, you know, more resources, 150 coins. She looks familiar, but I don't think I have. I think she's a portrait. But it's just another sticker of another member. More bearings, this time getting 50. The upgraded Dove blueprint. And then this paint. So it's better to just look at it on the bottle versus my car. But it's basically kind of like think of a wing of, like, I guess a raven. Because, you know, it's like a blackbird or something. And this is kind of like either like a more silver, like a silver raven. And it's just basically your vehicle has wings all around it. It might be cool for you to look at, but I doubt anybody's going to drive up to you and be like really able to tell that this is supposed to be wings right off the bat, unless they're real close and actually staring at your paint job. Next up is the regular blueprint. So this way, if you're a fruit player, you can get your Dove that way, not with any upgrades. Next up is the weapon that I'm looking forward to. Now, I'm not saying I'm not looking forward to the Dove. The Dove looks badass as hell. But this weapon, the AA gun, I'm really excited for this one. I'm gonna have to say that this is definitely not the first, second, third, or whatever AA gun, because a lot of those autocannons are actually AA guns on ships, like the Whirl. I think it's, I can't even remember what it's called. It's like the AK-130 or something like that. I think it's AK-230 is what the Whirl is, and then you got like the Cyclone and stuff, which obviously look like anti-aircraft guns. So this is going to be more of an actual anti-aircraft gun instead of just an autocannon stylish. So this one's going to have a rather high fire rate, rather decent accuracy, and a perk that just smashes from what I've seen in the test. So of course I want to look at the non-upgraded one at first so you can get the idea of what it is without the upgrades. Durability 604, that's not bad. Energy drain is 6, so you can put some things on here, which is nice. Mass 713, so not too bad. This thing does have explosion damage, so it is an autocannon, so it has projectile and explosion. Fires projectiles that fly on a ballistic trajectory and which explode on a hit or as they fly near the target. So keep that in mind, fly near the target. That's also the special ability of this thing. So when their enemy is no more than 1.1 meter from the target, an explosion will occur, the radius of which will be increased by 100%. The damage will not decrease as you move away from the center. So this is actually really strong. So you can hit an enemy and do some decent damage with just one of these things. But if you're hitting next to the enemy, this is kind of like a buffed version, in my opinion. Is the perk isn't, I don't know how to describe this. What is that weapon called? The yokai? The one that shoots the missile that when you hit the ground and it explodes and gives you the damage when you're missing. This one is you shoot next to them, so you don't actually have to hit the ground. It'll explode with 100% radius increase. So this thing is just bam, 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 and it'll tear you up. So if you're not hitting them directly and they're just strafing whatever, you don't have to worry about it, because the explosion will mess their day up. This thing is, I want it. This thing is so strong, and I have a feeling it's gonna get nerfed, and I'm gonna be real sad. So I really want this thing. This thing is, like, the design of it's badass. The accuracy is great. Like, the only thing is it doesn't have much depression, which makes sense. It's supposed to be an AA gun, so they're not making it so you can really shoot down a little bit. But I'm sure you can build around that and just shoot regular cars with it, no problem. But this thing's evolution, or where it goes up, this thing can almost go 90 degrees and just shoot straight up. This thing is a beast, and it's definitely going to tear helicopters a new one, especially since there is a little thing further on, I think right after this, which basically cancels out homing rockets, so you can't really shoot that shit in the fucking helicopter things no more unless you're playing low power score. Alright, next up is something extremely lame as hell, because they know, because they even talked about it if you didn't watch the live stream. Everybody wants blueprint storage, everybody wants regular storage. What they do, they give us one. If you bought these things and you're not just a low level, hey, you get to make more shit. Now, if you're high level, where you gotta have like 6 per, this kind of sucks. Now, next up is 2 more of these. Now, these is a rather interesting structural part, and that's because if you look at it, this is basically the wings that you see on helicopters that hold all the weapons. It looks like, yeah, these looks like the ones for rocket pods and whatnot. And you can even build off the side here. You can build on the top. And let's see, does this have ability? This also has a 50% pass-through. So this is actually, I was wondering that because I didn't pay attention to see that. This actually has a pass-through. So this is another pass-through part that is going to be for your helicopters. And this is actually really nice because you can see it right here. These things will hold on to your weapons, and it looks much cooler. I'm glad they added this. Like, not even just for the cool factor, but it's also practical. This is a great structural part for the helicopters. Next up, 75 bearings, more resources, the blueprint for the upgraded version, a rather sick background of a helicopter. Probably want to make that design. That thing looks badass. I think, looking at it, so you got the new decor right there, the lights. It looks like it's going to be 2 of the rapid fire machine guns off to the side. Can't really tell. And then right here at the bottom, it looks like it's going to be a Punisher machine gun, which I'm pretty sure the Punisher is an anti-aircraft gun. Alright, so this is the thing I was telling you about with the homing rockets, the flock. You can only have 2 of these per vehicle, and they do stack up because they use an ammo with ammo boxes. The fire rate is, I think they just keep going until you run out. So you can just keep just constantly. But these are when the rocket is coming at you, so if you read right there, fires thermal elements that disrupt the homing of enemy rockets within a 10-meter radius. So you just gotta wait for the rockets to come at you a little bit, and then you just and there you go. It'll just get diverted and go after one of the flares and explode. The only thing I kind of wonder about that is rockets do kind of have a explosive radius, so if they do hit one of the flares by you and it explodes, I kind of wonder if it is going to do a little bit of explosive damage towards you, but I guess we'll see that. So active range. I'm thinking that means instead of 10, it's going up a little bit. Let me actually look at a regular one. Oh, yep. So right there, it went to 9. So this one with that active range is going up to 10. So it's giving you a meter more of free space before that rocket comes and hits you, which might actually help you with that whole thing I was talking about of is the explosion from it hitting the flare going to hit you. So let's go back to that other one real quick. By the way, this fire rate's almost maxed out because it just keeps going until you run out. And durability is 105 points with a rather light mass of 65. Oh, and there it is. Doesn't heat up when firing, so you literally can just keep launching flares out until your heart's content. And you get a shit ton of flares, like a lot. Next up is 150 of these. What was the other upgrade? Just so you can see it. Yep, it's durability, so you're getting a little bit more durability with that. Next up is 150 coins. You're getting another of the gold aids. I always hate these things because I've opened up all of them and I have yet to get a single piece of uranium. Next up is the flock blueprint. Next up is 100 bearings. More structural parts to make your vehicle look smooth. 150 coins. The standard blueprint. And finally, we're getting our one and only cabin of the event, the helicopter cabin, the hippogriff, the base of the armored car that defines its basic characteristics. Okay, I just kind of read that, didn't I? Has an improved built-in radar. So this thing, you don't need radar for it. From what I've seen, if you do put a radar detector, so say the purple one, whatever the hell it's called, the Doppler, it actually will help you with the ability. But this one, enemy detection radius 360 meters, range of detecting enemies in cover. So this literally is just giving you a free Maxwell 320. Recon data transfer, so it even gives it to your teammates, and it even detects mines at a short distance. Which 90M's not too bad for detecting mines, if I do say so myself. I'm going to look at the non-upgraded one. Yeah, this is the non-upgraded one. Where's the upgraded blueprint? No? Huh. I guess there is no upgraded blueprint for this. You just get the upgraded one over there, and then you come over here and get this one, I guess. So looking at the standard right off the bat, looks like all the radar is the same, not upgrading it. The max speed is 85, tonnage 5,200, mass limit 12,000, adds energy 12, durability 320, mass 950. When activated, enemies within detection radius behind cover get highlighted for 7 seconds. Cooldown is 25. So the best way to describe it is there's an operator in Call of Duty. I believe it was Call of Duty 3 or 4. It was like an Asian guy, and he had those 4 goggles on top of his head. When he flips those goggles down, he basically goes into this infrared mode to where when you're running around, you can basically see all the enemy players that are behind walls. This case, it's going to be all enemy players within the cover detection radius, so that 320. So if you put a Doppler on here, which increases that, you'll actually be able to see them even further out. So, it's not bad. It's free radar. It's cool. That would I think that would definitely help with helicopters. So, when you're high up and you're trying to find the enemy and whatnot, and you're just like, hey, I'm just trying to find this guy, and just like, boop. It's like, there he is, little red marker. You can just go over, hit him with a Dove. Easy peasy. Now, going back to this one, the upgrades is durability. Kind of wish it was minus 17 mass. I'm the guy that I want all the mass. So the other 2 upgrades are great because when you're gotta self-destruct, that timer is brutal, and the mass limit's always great to have. The durability, I'm kind of like, I don't really care too much about that durability. Doesn't even look like it gives you a whole lot. But it is a helicopter that you're not really going behind cover or anything. You just kind of got to maneuver in the air. So maybe that's the thought process behind there. But to me, I never really cared for durability or whatever the other one was. I always wanted that minus 17% mass because it was always nice to have. Especially since this thing's almost 1,000. Ugh. Next up is more resources. We're getting, oh, this is the leader of the fire starters. You can tell by her eyes, you can tell by the hair, and of course the main giveaway is the metal skull on top of her head, which looks like a saber-toothed deer or some shit. Next up is 100 coins. We're getting another logo. This one looks kind of neat. It's kind of like the raven's feathers, except it's like a blood raven, so that's kind of cool. It looks nice. 60 of those. We're getting this guy. Not really sure what his deal is. You don't see him in the trailer. Apparently he's like Australian. I'm taking a guess. I never really hear British people just go out and say mate. I don't even think Canadians do that. That's more of like a, I heard that in like New Zealand or Australian. So I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure he's probably, let me look at his face. He's so Australian. Don't tell me he's not Australian. Like, this Australian dude over here in fucking Russia just flying helicopters. Good for him. He has his priorities straight. Alright, next up is going to be the Hippogriff regular blueprint, and then we're getting the Winged Stevo duck. It's a pretty nice looking duck. I feel like they really put like more detail into this one. Which, you know, it's obvious. He's wearing a goddamn jacket and shit. But, like, even like the face and everything. Unless that's just like the new garage look that they did. It's pretty nice. It's not bad. What's the durability on ducks? It's only 7. It's gonna take 1 bullet for you. This duck is gonna take 1 bullet for you. That was the fatal bullet, and this bitch took it for you. Alright, so now we're in the bonus section. So the bonus section is just really, it's just mainly the barons. Every now and then you're gonna get resources of different varieties. So you can see here you got the engineer badges, regular resources, the coins, and it just kind of continues. And every now and then you're gonna have where these the bearings are gonna be like, you know, here like 200, 100. Yep, there you go. And it's just basically gonna really increase it. So if you just keep playing, you'll be able to get 2 legendaries, which kind of sucks because I'm sure you're gonna want like one of all of them. Get back to that. And you only get 1, so if they continued the trend where you would have like 2 AA guns, 2 doves, and 2 flocks, you'd just be set, and then you can use that shit for the other thing. But Monopoly, I guess, pretty fucking lame. Alright, and that's it for the Battle Pass. If I can get to the Nomad Garage, I will add that in here. I might just buy the premium, just see if I can get it, just show it off. And of course we do get a little gift here. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same for Xbox or PC. What is it? Celebrate the skies. You can now... Big Bird. Now you own Big Bird. The hell is Big Bird? Big Bird, what are you? Are you from Sesame Street? One and all. Alright, I'm not sure where the hell Big Bird is. Oh, it says PAX over here. Oh, there it is. There's Big Bird. Wait, did that just increase my storage? So this is... I guess this is supposed to be like a slightly better version of the vehicle that they give you? Oh, surface. Really? Really? That's creative. So, did I just get given this shit? Not tradable. Oh, okay, so that's good. That's good. So we were given these, but... Wait, no, wait, hold on. I said not tradable. Does not take up storage. Does not take up storage. Okay, good. So we got the cords that fuck up your storage, and now we get the ones that don't fuck up your storage. So you get both. You get a little bit of both. You know, I was looking at these wheels, and I'm like, oh, cool, little helicopter wheels. And they're fake. glorious. This helicopter, imagine when the people touch down, they're gonna be pissed. And you get another one of these things, which does not take up storage. You know, that kind of gives me the incentive to sell the one that does take up storage. So now I got 4 of these things. Tow missiles. And, you know, that's kind of ironic. That this is a tow missile. Like, I feel so bad for the fucking tow missile. But you know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to build a helicopter with a tow missile. Just to see if I could be like that little helicopter in the air just dropping anti-tank missiles. I'm going to test that. I want to see if that shit works. Alright, so there you go. Big Bird and whatever the fuck this is supposed to be called. Starter helicopter or some shit. So... Oh, there it is. Newcomers armored aircraft. Yep, there you go. Alright, so in addition to this, I believe I covered everything. I showed you the new modes. Yep, you got scrap, you got wires, you got batteries. It can go into patrol, it can go in back on patrol. So this is going to be like the only raid type one that you can do, because it's not actually available in any other raids. There is going to be a special event, which is just regular air battles. It seems like it's going to be like low power score, so only 200. Sorry, I keep wanting to say 200. 2,000 power score right here. And of course, you have the option of if you want to do regular crossout, or if you want to do regular crossout with the helicopters. And if you can't tell which icons it is, like here, like Bedlam, it's going to be all the ones that have the little helicopter icon on them. Now that we went and covered all of that, they did add some new maps, and I did try to check out the new maps. However, if you go to Game Center, so say Assault, right? Settings. You can't actually play with helicopters within these modes, so that it's really lame that you can't just have like, you know, a little free-for-all thing. But yeah, see, as you can see here, and I did try other modes as well. I went through all, I think, was all 6 of them, and none of them allow you to actually use the propeller within the game center. So that's a bit of a bummer. Now, they did come out with 4 maps, and they're specifically for the helicopter event. And what I mean by, not event, but the helicopter modes that came out, we're going to have Air Harbor, we're going to have Wolf Outpost, we're going to have Sanctuary, and we're going to have Gates of the Valley. And I do believe Gates of the Valley is going to be the one where they're going to have the fleet of aircrafts that are going to shoot at you, and you can shoot them out of the air. There is going to be some type of like environment, like destruction that you can do. Like there's going to be some buildings that you can somewhat blow up. Wolf Outpost is literally like a Steppenwolf airfield that you attack. And Air Harbor, that one I'm not too sure, but it is talking about Steppenwolves again. And then Gates of the Valley, like I said, I think that's the one that has all the aircrafts in it, and it's just basically like the valley that we're used to. Now this is something that I haven't heard anybody else say, but if you're wondering all the weapons that got changed to shoot helicopters out of the air, and what I mean by that is they can actually, you know, go vertical aiming up higher. You got the Spectre 2, the Aspect, the Whirlwind, the Stillwind, the Cyclone, the Avenger, Executioner, which is an 88, German 88, the Tsunami and the Typhoon, apparently, the Little Boy, the Hulk, Elephant, Mammoth, Mastodon, the Median, the Astraeus, the Thyrus, Summoner, and Argument. So all of those weapons are going to be the weapons that they fixed to have the vertical aiming for use for shooting down helicopters. I'm surprised they don't have the Whirl on here, because the Whirl is literally, it's literally an anti-aircraft Russian version autocannon. And then this is just going through the interface. This is most of the stuff that I told you. You can change the key binds if you don't like the way the helicopter flies. The new sounds. I'm just reading to see if there's anything else real quick that I missed, and I do believe that's all the major items. So that's basically going to be it. where the major things are the 4 new maps, the battle pass with the multiple rotors. We got the new structural parts, the new cabin, the flux, and that's basically gonna do it for this whole update, guys. I think this is a pretty nice update. I do think it's a little lame that they kind of that it doesn't feel as big as some things, if you know what I mean. Like, the other ones felt like they gave you a little bit more, and I find it a little lame that they gave you repair kits. Like, I didn't really like that, but I am glad that they did come out with more rotors than just the one, with like different properties and the way they look. I really like the what the hell? I've never noticed that the clown's eyes like light up. I wonder if the clown is why I keep getting that noise. Oh yeah, and his chief change. Hold on, I'm finding something out that... I found something out that I'm wondering if that's where that noise is coming from. Because I'm like, why did they add like a spooky noise into the game? Is it Halloween? Oh, so that's why. It was the fucking clown this whole time. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I've never actually looked at the fucking clown. News to me, guys. News to me. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna say goodnight right here. But before I get into an official goodnight, I'm gonna see if I can get the parts of that first item into my storage. Like, if I buy the first tier, is it going to give me the Falco and whatnot? And I'm going to relay that information. And I'm also going to go and see if I can get that Nomad garage to show it off. Sadly, like I said, I can't show off the new maps without actually going into a battle right now. But it kind of sucks because the Game Center doesn't even have the maps in them either. Most likely because you can't take a propeller in there. And I'm going to take a guess right here as well that this says that 6 day 3 hours, so that's still going to be well within October. That the the next mini pass is probably going to be Halloween themed. I'm going to take my money on that real quick, and we're probably going to have like that Halloween tag and all that stuff. So, because if you don't know, Halloween is coming up, and maybe I'll see you guys at Halloween Horror Nights or something if you're down in Florida. Anyways, guys, let's see if I can figure out this information for you. So, looking at it, it does seem if you buy the pass, you do actually get the whole helicopter thing. So, it was, as the dev said, it is a complete helicopter, so you will get the upgraded Falco right here. With that acceleration, efficiency increase, and durability. So, and I did notice something, is that when you are using autocannons on here, is that this thing actually feels pretty nice with these autocannons. Maybe it's the kickback, but like, look at that. It doesn't really seem like much recoil. It seems like you can just really stand there and just launch this thing. Like, it's like, yeah, this propeller feels nice. I'm sure the petrol will feel even better. But yeah, I just wanted to show and confirm here that you can actually get the whole helicopter, that you were not reading wrong or anything. And I see the reason I brought that up is because I heard another YouTuber say that, hey, you can't you're not gonna get everything. And it does look like they also fixed the hitboxes, because that was another thing they said, but I didn't read it unless I missed it, because this used to be a big hitbox right here, and it does see like I can fly freely through it all. See the bleachers, even though I don't think it was really meant for garages that they were talking about, that it was more, yeah, it doesn't really seem like I'm trying. Yeah. And if you've played in this map and you tried to like jump around and stuff in it, that little passageway right there, it used to have like a roof that was like right there, so it does seem like they did work around even in the garages with the the hitboxes of the map, so that's nice. So now you shouldn't just be going around and just hitting random shit. But that's one thing. Let me see if I can get to that garage real quick for you guys as well. I finally got that Nomad Camp. This is what it kind of looks like when you're, you know, just hovering here. Basically, this is like a big ass trailer to like some giant rig right here, and then you got like the Nomad vehicles, like the Leviathan like vehicles off to the side. It's basically like a big Nomad Camp area, and with a small airfield like right over here. So this is kind of how it looks, like you're in a cloud. Kind of makes it look like you're on top of a building or something, but of course when you come in, you get a better view of the whole camp. There's like a lot of, I guess, pre-apocalypse military vehicles in here. And of course you can see you can't build in this one. You got the little airport, you got the tower over here. And then it's just basically like military checkpoints all around, just going down the road. So this right here is a little misleading. You think that you can keep following the highway like if it's that like the hit and run mode, but if you actually go too far into the zone, yeah, it tells you got to return back to battle. So this is actually a rather decent sized map. It's just like a nice little airport military checkpoint type of deal with the Nomad guys. And if you are wondering, you do get these little balloons here. And the reason I'm pulling this up is normally you think like, you know, World War II, whatnot. There you go. They do not actually hurt helicopters or anything. I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity, to be honest. Because that would have been kind of cool if it was like an air hazard, like the World War II blimps, to stop enemy aircraft. And then this big radar thing is obviously the, yep. Now I'm wondering, is it going to be just cars or is it helicopters? Oh, yeah, it looks like it's just the cars. It looks like this is going to be just the standard ones. They kind of look a little bit more armored than the regular. Yeah, I would say these are just basic cars. It's kind of lame, like, and I feel like that's another missed... Wait! Oh no, that's just a regular guy. I was like... Yeah, and then you got the regular shotgun guys with the gold. Yeah, so that's kind of sucky. You think on the airfield they would pull out like other helicopters or anti-aircraft vehicles or something? Oh well, I guess it's just regular target practice. Sadly, there isn't like a damage fear or anything, so if you want to use any of those like little garage things to really test yourself, you're gonna have to go to like a whole nother garage for that, which is a little, it's a little lame to hear that, sadly. But the garage is nice. It looks pretty nice. It's a nice little canyon, nice little airport. It's going to be a good map just to fly around and just get a feel of your helicopter. And anyways, guys, that's all I really got in the show. I basically covered everything that's going to be in this update. If you enjoyed this, maybe leave a like and subscribe for me. Hey, and I remember, man, I know you're going to say it in the comments, can you do an avalanche video? I will get to that. I just wanted to cover the update real quick. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe. It was good talking to you guys again, and I hope that all of you have a great night. See you in the next one.